I am fucking too queer for beige and gray.
That's the start. That's it. Theme tune, cue the theme tune.
I wasn't even paying attention.
That's the best start. Welcome to, please sir, what show is this?
What is this? Oh yes, this is the third episode of Won't You Please Shut Up, or Please Won't You Shut Up, or I will eventually get that title correct.
Or, yes, you
Shut
boy,
up!
what show is this?
Shut up! And we are going to talk about fucking Star Trek today, because it is fucking Star Trek Day!
Because we were talking about it in the kitchen segment, which is recorded and you can get for a special payment, we swear.
Yes, yes.
We don't just keep forgetting to turn it on when we're on a wine break.
But there's the
It's
thing,
the deleted scenes.
It's the deleted scenes, but how many goddamn shows can we have going at once? We have 2 already. I know I actually do have a third one that is technically about the work of Kevin Smith, but I recorded 6 episodes of and then couldn't think of anything else to say.
3 is asking too much of yourself. 2.5 is ideal.
2.5. Okay, so
like 2 1/4.
We'll take that one.
Yeah.
It's called Pop Culture Junkie Loudmouth. So it can actually just simply switch into something else, and this can be like something else. Fuck it. If you want to have one show that is just about pop culture and one that is just about like drag and Star Trek, we can literally have that.
Okay.
That is a thing that can be done.
I don't know. I don't think we can. I think that's a false promise because I think any pop culture show that we talk about is inevitably going to either touch on or completely devolve into a chaotic whirlwind of drag and Star Trek.
Now the upside is we can
not
simply,
even and or.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
Drag and Star
Both
Trek.
at the same time.
Both we can simply like kind of randomly switch the episodes up so that they end up in one or the other, and there is no fucking logic to it.
No.
Will our listeners notice
There's
the difference?
There's no logic to drag queens.
Take the
or
what show
Star
is this
Trek.
and
This
touch
is-
your mouth
this is
challenge.
No. It is a true case study in positivity and like general happiness. It is an optimist's dream.
As well, it is proof that you can write your way out of anything if you simply make something up. It's
Fantasy.
completely, yeah. It's
It
is science fiction, but it is also fantasy.
What's her name? She just did The Wives. Handmaid's Tale.
Oh,
Margaret
Margaret
Atwood.
Atwood.
Margaret Atwood.
Yeah.
She is the best description. Has the best description of the way she writes. It's
Speculative fiction.
Speculative
as opposed
fiction.
To science fiction.
Mm.
She uses science fiction as like a bubble,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but she's inside writing speculatively.
Like writing
it's
about
really
well, yeah,
beautiful.
because it's
Yeah.
science fiction. I believe the way she described it is like science fiction that
Was
it's not set in like Star Trek in like the far off distant whatever. It's like no, just enough. It's kind of like how Black Mirror is like just enough aspects of society have changed or evolved that you can still recognize where you are. It's still very now in a lot of ways, but it's just completely wildly
close
different
enough.
in many others.
It reminds me of a series that just started from extra credits on YouTube. I was just flicking through my phone frantically trying to find the name in time for there not to be a blank space as people stare at me looking at my phone instead of listening.
You're just like staring at you.
I know. I'm gorgeous. But they're going through the history of science fiction and how it went from like Frankenstein and the Roman novel True History to speculative fiction, and like how science fiction only truly became great and noble and more than it was when it went from sci-fi as some weird nebulous kind of cheap genre to speculative.
But also illegal.
Yes. Also,
So like
yeah,
at certain
absolutely.
points, science fiction talking about things that did not exist were illegal and punishable by death. Like if you go like 1400s, like at certain times, saying the world was round, speculating that it's not flat
Oh wow, that's very
is
true.
wrong.
And they
Like,
always,
you are
That's
wrong.
true. You're not even
Yeah.
talking speculative fiction. Just speculating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but here's the funny thing is, whenever those theories were presented in print, it was always using a story. So that story, indeed, was speculative fiction that was then punishable.
Yeah. Or like stars.
Absolutely.
People thought stars were like immoral.
Yeah. Yeah, to consider that it would not be I've forgotten the word. I know the reverse of the word, heliocentric, but I can't think of geocentric. That's it. A geocentric universe. Because yeah, if there's another star, if those twinkly things are actually the sun, then shit.
So just to push it a little further, would that be analogous to nationalistic
Yes.
for your planet?
There is indeed
So is that
a carryover of
is that a future
thought.
issue for humans?
Well,
Like,
future.
No, but like,
Future 1849, motherfucker.
no, but I'm thinking like global in solar, like in
It's
or
any
like our
culture
solar
that puts
address we're
itself at the center.
identifying.
No,
that.
it's any culture that puts itself at the absolute center
Yeah.
of things, which you could say about humanity now. We're like, we're the masters of this planet. It's like, it keeps fighting me harder every year. I wonder why. Meanwhile, I gotta go take my shit to the dump, which is the ocean.
But like, yeah, there's speculative fiction out there that puts forward like colonial wars. That seems like what you're talking about. The concept that eventually, like a lunar, Mars, what have you, colony would become so complicated and so complex and so self-reliant themselves, and so politically independent that they would eventually get into some kind of political conflict. If it's inevitable
With
in any land on Earth, it has to
North
be inevitable.
America, Europe.
Yeah, and
She
even
said
though
broadcasting from the New World, which,
Yeah.
this part didn't rebel, but I believe a large part did.
I believe there were multiple
It's-
wars
of course it's
throughout
inevitable.
that time.
And distance, at least government-wise, breeds contempt.
Yes, exactly. So you have that as well, and even though it would at most be a 6-day ride away that you would constantly be able to see, it's still enough. It's
But
enough
it's-
distance.
If Canada's
is also
capital
why-
was, like, anywhere, I would say, west of... Oh, where it is. Imagine, like, if Canada's capital was Vancouver. Like, people in the Maritimes would just be in an absolute state all the time.
I do wonder why people
We would
in the
probably
Yukon
actually be in
listen.
a state at that point.
Well, we almost were, so yeah.
I know, don't get me
Absolutely.
started.
We're technically Maine.
I know.
Something
people, okay.
really interesting happened to me recently. I was asked to like a page on Facebook by the Atlantica Party.
Oh God, the Atlantica Party.
Don't do it.
I know them. They're crazy.
No, but like it was weird because there was I think Paige had put something up about like a political session was happening, and somebody had a comment from that party,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, oh, it was an interesting comment.
Is that party still Jonathan Dean?
No, they've expanded to like I think 4 members, and they're all really insane libertarians.
Okay.
I sometimes like to.
I'd rather
Get into
see
it.
the tall poppies so I can cut them down.
Ha! Exactly.
Sorry to bring it to the dark side.
No,
but
that like I was literally saying the exact same thing.
We were saying it in the context of Star Trek, which we started to do again, but
Yeah,
how did we get
well.
into this? We got
oh well, I had a comment about Star Trek in the fact that they don't glorify either power or knowledge. It is only the people who have literal power over people. I'm looking to TNG because it is my like epicenter of Star Trek.
Of course.
But like
Oh.
Riker and Picard are both strong individuals that aren't smart in science.
I
No,
sincerely
listen, like,
disagree with you.
no, but like they're
Picard?
not intellectually. I would say intellectually engaged by the science of
Well,
it.
no,
They're more intellectually
that's-
engaged by the
No.
social aspect of it.
Yes,
No.
yes, yes.
Riker,
It's
yes, but
culture.
Picard, no.
Culture.
No,
Well,
Picard
they're
as
not
well.
scientists,
He's
they're
No, but it's the
anthropologists.
same thing for him. That's why I'm saying he's an anthropologist.
Yeah.
It's the same thing for him. Experiencing a culture is
but
expanding knowledge
they
for
are
him in a
they
way
are the
more-
commanding people though. And
Yes,
think
but
about
still,
it. The smartest technical people,
Yeah.
Data, Geordi, Beverly, I would even kind of partially put in that category, are so passionate about the science of it.
Yeah.
That they don't care about how it impacts people as much.
Okay.
Emotionally,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. I,
But,
I,
like,
I see what you're
Their
saying. Yeah,
strength is always in the science of it, and there's a clear line of like you believe this, but you believe people. Like there's
Yeah.
the commanding people believe people.
Wait a minute,
People-
wait a minute. Is that why we didn't like Janeway as much? Because she's so about the science?
I think so because people who don't get Star Trek think of Star Trek as technobabble and sci-fi and science.
Yeah.
And it's
It's
not.
not.
You're absolutely right. The best. I mean, listen. I love Picard. I love everyone on TNG. I even love Bartley, even though he appears
It's
on
not that he's
Voyager.
the best captain or it's the best ship, 'cause that's something.
But DS9 is the best Star Trek
Yes.
because it simply goes right to that core of Star Trek is a show about anthropology.
Yes.
Yeah.
That it's going from culture to culture
Yeah.
and saying you're equally interesting.
Mm-hmm.
What you got?
Why?
Yeah.
What's the
Show
fuck
us what
going
you
on here?
got.
Oh man, no.
Exploring Ferengi culture.
It
The- like,
starts off stupid, and then by the end of it,
But
you're
no,
like,
it's a
I
fully
love this.
monetary culture that is developed by itself in a corner of the universe.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
great. It's only
Beautiful.
a commentary on capitalist America.
Oh,
It's
it is.
And then it faces a reform, an entire universal reform of its entire system from a feminist who is herself completely unique in terms of her own power within entire Ferengi fucking history.
Do we not have to say that she gets that opportunity through
Yes,
dating
yeah,
the
she
main
gets it through
political figure?
fucking the
like-
Grand Nagus, but she's so because no one in
They
the
don't.
entire
They never
history.
highlight that.
I know, but no
it's
one in
still
the entirety
how she
of
has to get there because the society is that bad.
but no one in Ferengi history ever did that.
She
before. It's
kicked
a
down
really
the door.
curious thing.
No, she walked up, kicked down the door, said,
Well,
"If I
no,
have to
because they
do
were
this
kept
way."
super meek at
Yeah.
home, naked all the time. Like, it was rude for a
Cleopatra-
Ferengi woman to wear clothes.
Cleopatra took the fucking hearts and
So what you're
minds
saying-
of two
no.
consuls of Rome.
So what you're saying is
Yeah, nobody
Melania
falls
Trump
for that.
will
Zero
be president?
BC.
Not that I'm faulting anyone for winning.
What
their
were you saying is
decisions from
Melania
sex.
will
No, I
be
mean she's brilliant.
president?
How do you think I get on this podcast? Well,
Oh, by the way, have you guys
How
ever?
do you think you get on this podcast?
Have you guys ever? Ooh, that's a good question. Have you guys ever heard the story of like the actual story as recorded by history of how Cleopatra impressed Mark Antony?
Nope.
So
You?
instead of the way that she impressed and introduced herself to Caesar was of course smuggling herself aboard his boat in wrapped up in a carpet and
Of course.
like a really lavish one and like she wasn't supposed to be there. They were trying to make sure that no one went to the camp and she just gets unraveled by her slaves and it's just like, hey baby. But by the time you reach Mark Antony, she's aged a little bit. But she also has more money and power because she's not. When she went to Caesar, she was trying to win a civil war. When she went to Mark Antony, she was trying to hold on to her kingdom.
So she's
It's
not
a
the kind
different-
of lady
Yeah.
who wraps herself up in a carpet.
Exactly.
Not at that
So
stage in her
this
career.
barge appears on this pier outside of Mark Antony's camp, and it is covered in gold. Is gold. Is the most expensive thing that ever floated in history ever. Gold. And she's sitting there and just being like,
Hi.
fucking get up here.
So,
And she looks at him very simply and goes, if I throw the most lavish party in history right now, will you join me politically? Like, if I prove my infinite fucking wealth right now in this moment, will you join me? And he goes, yeah, sure. We're on a boat in the middle of the fucking Nile, right off of base. You're gonna throw the greatest party in history. Sure, right. And so she goes, okay. She takes her pearl earring that is worth 20,000 sesterces. So this is like $1 billion. It's an enormous fucking pearl owned by the last pharaoh of Egypt. And she drops it into a glass of vinegar so it dissolves. Gone forever. And she drinks it. 20,000 fucking sesterces drank. Greatest party in human history. Next thing you know, Mark Antony dies for that.
Yep.
shit.
Yeah.
Glory is the reward of valor.
Which is great.
Cleopatra is the
amazing.
greatest.
You walk up
fucking
to the line.
politician in
No,
history.
No, you
Okay,
walk
no.
up to the line, you say, there it is, you step right past it, and you
Yeah.
say,
Oh,
everybody
she jumped
fuck
right over it and
off.
then danced
Fuck
away
that
into the
line.
distance. That shit is great.
Oh, that's
But-
a line on
so
my
no.
kingdom.
Write that shit into Star Trek. Don't
Yeah.
just have Quark's mom bang the Nagus. That's what happened. Like,
I'm
just
so
make
fucking
that happen.
amazing.
Like, you know what? I'd rather just impress. Well, I guess they wrote it both ways because it was like,
Well,
no, you
she
have
was,
like,
like,
I'm gonna
super
be,
rich
I'm
by
gonna be,
her own
no,
efforts.
I'm gonna be inconceivable.
Yeah.
Who's he?
Oh my
Damn,
god.
Wallace Shawn. Wallace Shawn.
Wallace Shawn.
Yes, Wallace Shawn. Yes. She gives him economic advice from a woman. Can you believe it?
I like how everybody has a Ferengi voice.
Yeah.
I
And
hope
it-
everyone
it's
has
so
a
easy
Wallace
to
Shawn
know it.
voice. I
It's
hope
so
everyone
easy
has
to
a
know.
Wallace voice.
Mine's a little deeper and like angry.
I feel like it should be noted that the dog is just peacefully sleeping away as everyone is bursting into Wallace Shawn around her.
Meanwhile, look at the spikes on that fucking
That's the Wallace Shawn spike right there. Inconceivable.
It's-
But yeah, I guess that was it though. She was also like a super economic brain.
Yeah.
Oh, and she also kind of like saved him from like slight Alzheimer's too.
Well, yeah, because and it's funny because I just watched that episode
That
the
was
other
very
day.
well rounded. I take back my earlier criticism.
Ooh,
Well, whatever. I don't do it often, so let it
but I
pass.
think you were accurate in like the large brushstrokes are a little regressive.
It's true. If
I
you
would
just
say.
glance over it,
Yeah.
which
Like, if you
unfortunately
watch-
I think a lot of people who
Oh,
watch
yeah.
an episode of Star Trek from now and again would just
It's
be like,
still
that's problematic, and you're like, oh no,
it's a
context.
network show from the late '90s.
Oh no, suddenly everyone with nuance.
You know, it's the same as watching Friends and being like, oh, they're all really homophobic.
Oh man, the gay panic humor on Friends is hilarious though.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Is like because it's late '90s.
It doesn't play
it's
it out
not
well, it's
le-
weird.
Yeah, it's not like offensive. It's just like that's weird.
Now, like, Chandler would just kiss Joey back, and it would be hilarious, and they'd just be like, oh. And that would be that, but instead it's it's
Not
like
only that,
face.
Joey and Ross would have had a fucking
Oh
relationship.
yeah, Ross
Oh,
would have been
yeah.
gay if they made it now.
This is, for a complete digression, apparently the season of bisexual character emergence, which
Yeah,
I think
I
is
heard
great
that.
for television. And the BBC and a bunch of British networks are having their, like, gay times of, like, the UK this year, apparently.
Oh yeah, I
TV-wise.
heard that. Well, I'm sorry, I'm over here on this cloud
The gay
called
times.
Doctor Who is trans, and I'm on my own party.
Yeah, it took Doctor Who a long time to be trans.
Yeah, but like, sweet.
And anyone out there who's like, ooch, what? It's like, well, no, come on. It's like Doctor Who's a woman now. Like, it's like,
I am slightly annoyed, that, unfortunately, that their head writer then immediately came out and said, I'm paraphrasing here, but more or less, trans people are so ridiculous. And it's like, but you're the head writer on a
Wait a
show
minute,
in which,
context. How so?
like, you're always so out there, and you choose the most ridiculous names. I think he was thinking about drag.
Is that an... I don't even think that's an unintentional burn, though. Like,
Yeah, I know.
I can see that being a terrible backhanded compliment.
And
Through in exposure.
well, and
but-
that's why everyone's just like, you're kind of weird, aren't you?
Well, I'm
Instead
surprised
of,
at the
up in
level of
arms.
inexposure from someone who is the showrunner on a show where the character has suddenly, through reasons very alien and like convenient, transitioned from a long-term man to a woman.
Thank you.
Oh, what's her name? Jodie.
Yes.
Jodie
that is a-
Whittaker?
Whittaker. Jodie Whittaker. We
That
got
is
that.
an excellent question.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry. If it's not
She's
Matt Smith, I'm
great.
not paying attention.
She's right. Oh my god. Better than David Tennant. Sorry, David Tennant. You're
Shut up.
amazing. I know.
He is my freebie.
I still love you, but like, yeah, that's
Really, even after Broadchurch.
I haven't
Oh,
watched it. I
Broadchurch
won't watch
is
it. I
amazing.
can't
No.
watch it.
It's amazing. He's amazing, but he's too sad.
No,
Too
he's
sad.
amazing. He's amazing.
He lost me entirely. Between that and
Yeah.
Jessica Jones, it's either too sad or creepy.
No, he's even better now.
Jessica.
I
haven't
love
seen either one.
Doctor Who.
Haven't seen either one because I'm an optimistic TV watcher. You better make me fucking happy. You
It
better
will not
me
make you
smile.
happy.
It does.
No.
Broadchurch made me cry. The
Yeah.
first
How
episode.
would you know? You did
And-
watch
and
one
that's an
episode.
I
ugly
watched
cry.
the first
That is
episode.
an ugly existential cry. Of,
It's true.
Why
It's
are
true.
you
It's
doing
true.
that?
Okay, 6 Feet Under, again, because I will find a way to talk about it. It'll be my contact. It'll be my Katya's contact. 6 Feet Under, the final episode, makes me, like, not ugly cry. Makes me, like, you know, possibly the only not ugly cry I ever
Internally
do. Like,
cry.
no, I, like, weep
But, like-
a little, and it's like, oh, it's so touching. It's just so meaningful. And, like, it's silly and it's saccharine, but it's that. But no, like, yeah, you ugly cried at the first episode of Broadchurch.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't watch people's worlds have acid poured over every inch and quarter of it.
I'm
I
right there.
can't.
Yeah.
I'm right
I
there.
can't watch that and
Yeah.
be okay.
Yeah.
Afterwards.
And the
I
funny
love
thing
it.
Is, yeah. Funny thing is, yeah, 7 fucking years at the magazine, I can't watch Broadchurch for 5 minutes.
Oh my god, a year and a half and nothing but like like internal self-generated crises. And no, I'll watch Broadchurch and be like, this is fascinating. Who did rape that woman? Who did murder that preteen boy?
Stop hurting people. You're all in a small town.
Why is Jodie Whittaker crying like her life has descended into a chaotic pit beneath her?
This is also coming from a person who enjoys watching a documentary on the Civil War.
I love Ken Burns' The Civil War.
Oh my
like
god,
nothing
I've
else.
watched Ken Burns' The Civil War so many times, it's not
Oh
even
my
funny.
god, I want to scratch every surface of my eye
What is it,
out.
the Ashokan Waltz or Ashokan Waltz or whatever?
Yeah,
that painting music?
okay, so
Ashokan Farewell.
So,
Just go an octave up or down.
No,
actual
no, up or down.
YouTube that
Slightly
shit. Ashokan
shut
Farewell.
up for a second.
War Wallace Shawn and Ken Burns' The Civil War. I'm very happy.
Octave
with
should
that.
better
Actually, yeah, pull that up because it'll be in the background while I tell this. So there's this violinist who always comes down and busts in Halifax.
I'm not pulling it up. People can Google it. I'm not paying royalties to Ken Burns, although I do love him.
So every year he comes down and he will play that at some point during the day.
Oh, really? Okay.
This year I'm going to ambush him, dressed in 18th century whatever, and I'm going to stand there and just be like, Ebert didn't come home today. He was shot in the face by a Yankee.
Can you please be Mary Chestnut? I love Mary Chestnut.
I don't even know where to start with any of this.
Oh God, it's just so.
Brent gets so mad when he comes downstairs and hears this. It's just like, it's a whole thing. There's a little, we have our own The Civil War. It's much less devastating, but it's much way more entertaining.
I love how
The lines are
overused it
drawn.
is.
And I will tell you, I fought 40 days and 30 nights
I'm
and
gonna
shit the
get-
bed twice.
You know how you can get
In the
those...
time that I did not want to listen to this documentary.
No, I'm gonna get
and
it.
every time
I'm
this
gonna get a
documentary
kitschy little
started, I looked at it and it wasn't happy. Was it?
I'm gonna get a
I
kitschy
don't
little
know.
bell,
I'm just
I'm
gonna
gonna
keep
put it on the
talking
wall, I'm gonna
and-
engrave it and call it Secessia, and I'm gonna secede this den from this house and marriage.
Then you must
For
put
the
a
betterment
door.
of the
Put a
den's
new
own
door to the
denizens.
outside because you are now crossing my path into that hallway, past that bathroom or that kitchen.
Can the bathroom be Fort Sumter? It's really
Never,
small and
never.
necessary.
That's where it runs.
Can the bathroom be Fort Sumter? We're putting up a sign. The bathroom is... So the other day I was in Fort Sumter.
I've been here for quite some
Sumter.
time.
I dropped the biggest bomb in Fort Sumter. Bigger than any other one in history.
He went into Fort Sumter half shit-faced and crapped all over the walls.
The Civil War always makes me laugh. That's why I watch this all the time.
Right? That's the thing. You will get the most horrible, heart-wrenching stories, and you're just sitting there going, but you're all dead anyway.
I just look at it as like
So
a bunch of
many
siblings put into a pen and the parents were like, figure it out. That's what the Civil War was. Because it was like, oh look, Britain and, oh yeah, we're good, we're good.
Man, if
You
you
guys-
guys wanted American
fuck you.
listeners for this show,
Oh my
we
God.
just burned them all. It's just like, you know what Canadians do for fun?
We make
They
fun
get
of you.
slightly tipsy, let's go with that, and they laugh about the Civil War.
Yeah.
While
Sorry.
listening to Ken Burns.
Because
Oh,
we're
man.
civil.
Oh man. We're too,
Yeah,
we're
that's
too
what-
civil to
that's-
have a war. I'm gonna knock on wood right now. We live east of Quebec. This is the danger zone.
To be fair, we did have a civil war. It was just this really, really, really tiny one in Red River.
I wanted to talk earlier when you were talking about Nova Scotia being a state.
Hmm.
There were only two places in like Greater Nova Scotia, which was also New Brunswick, because we're greater than New Brunswick. so it's
Greater than
Nova
New
Scotia.
Brunswick.
I love New Brunswick. I'm sorry. Majorville, New Brunswick had a little patriot mini uprising, and the only other place they got any support whatsoever in Nova Scotia, I believe, was River Phillip, which was the county seat for my home county.
Yeah.
Like, it's like down the road from my hometown, and I
means-
love the idea of that. I'm just like, you know what? If my hometown didn't, I believe, still bars legally, if there was a local I could go into and rabble rouse, like, I could probably start like at least a New England Patriots revolution.
Probably. So that means that a representative, if not Benedict Arnold himself, went there and was like, okay,
Rabble rabble.
so
Bradley, someone Bradley.
you want to fight?
Oh, wow.
I don't know any either. I'm gonna
The
join the other
14
guys.
colonies could have been so great. That's all I'm
The
saying.
14.
Okay.
No, we would have ended up as Greater Maine, and that just would have been depressing.
We were so much greater than Maine.
Northern Maine.
Would we
are
have been
Northern
mainly
Maine.
good?
Stop it. We're so much greater than Maine, and we're
Ain't
more
they
south
good?
than parts of Maine, I think. Find me a map, I believe.
Actually, I used to vacation in Maine when I was a kid, and it was really nice.
And we're slighting Maine, but we're just
Except
exaggerating
for
our
some
own local
parts.
greatness.
Well, there's the thing, is that there is this one memory where we were driving through a town, and like they were having like one of those town days, but there was like a fight that was going on, and on one side of the street were people screaming at the other side of the street, and you're just a tourist driving down the street, and you're just like,
I'm home.
what the fuck is this?
That's being a Canadian in
Oh,
the
sorry,
Civil War.
sorry.
That's it. Just looking around going, what the fuck is this all about?
My parents grew up in Scotland, and like, let's face it, there's a lot of blood
There's a civil war in every house.
between
Oh, really?
Scotland and England, but like
Really?
within Scotland
Really?
itself,
The
because
Scots
of the
hate the
stupid
Scots?
Campbells.
Oh wait, yeah.
Are you gonna slate Campbell's on our show? Don't slate Campbell's
You
on
didn't
our
tell
show.
him.
What? Are you a Campbell?
I'm a Campbell.
That's okay. You can transition to a Robertson anytime you want. It's your right as a Canadian.
You're from
We
the
live in a
you're
civilized
from the
society.
Highlands.
I'm off that
Not-
fucking
not-
boat in New Glasgow. Like I could trace that shit.
Alright, we got way off Star Trek and drag.
Yeah, well, you know,
Super far.
that's
That's
the
our
show
right
that
in
you're listening
anarchic
to.
Star Trek world. We can do that. But that's the thing.
the thing that we were
yes,
talking
we
about,
were
right?
saying because you two were both being very political about Star Trek, and nobody was. I can't believe you even suggested some people claim Star Trek as fascist.
Oh,
That's
lots
insane.
of people. It's even a kind of a joke to say like, "Hey, isn't it funny that Star Trek is like supposed to be the most progressive future ever, but it kind of resembles a fascist society if you don't think about it at all and only look at the uniforms."
It's
It's so dumb. At any
fascism
point,
veiled.
the whole central
No, it's
core.
fascism veiled in like an optimist mindset.
I get very mad about this apparently, but the whole central tenet
Yes, you
of
know, yeah.
is of being a character in the Star Trek universe, at least in the Federation part of it, is at any point you can just be like, fuck this, and you can just up and leave, and you don't even have to leave the Federation. You can just go find a colony world somewhere within
You can
its general
disassociate
protectorate
with
zone.
the vision.
And by and large, you can just do your own thing. And I know someone's going to be like, man, DMZ, that was a bad thing. They poisoned whole planets. Oh my god,
Well,
Cisco
yeah,
again.
the Maquis
Mistakes
and-
are made.
yeah.
And
in
that was
every
true. The Maquis got
progression
this
of
shaft
society,
really hard.
whether
I
in
understand that.
alien worlds.
But also, like,
continents.
that's try not to
Mistakes
settle
will
next
be
to
made.
your country's biggest enemy. Like, that's just pragmatism.
And the reality of it is, it comes down to just some writers are better than others, and some will write it with that universal progressive vision, and some will just be like, hackney script, and that hackney script has immediately creates problems for that universe, because how can something be both this progressive concept and hackney? Well, it has to be to make sense in Star Trek lore. So you end up with a fascist Star Trek fleet.
It's also really easy to veil different views from different writers and different producers. Like,
Yeah.
it's the type of show where the artist actually brings something to the table.
Yeah.
And like Doctor Who, where not every show is written by the same person or produced by the same person. So it's maybe a writer's interpretation of a previous episode that they've thought about. They would now write one. The next producer looks at it and has to take, like, there's always iterations, and now you find there's always the same 3 to 5 characters in Star Trek runs of shows.
Yeah, but
Where, like, the writers play. Like, they play with each other.
and you're absolutely right.
Literally.
Even in terms of like Space Seed was not written by the same person who wrote Wrath of Khan.
Yeah.
Whoever wrote Wrath of Khan had a very different intention in mind, but they connected it correctly so that it's not this blindingly weird Benedict Cumberbatch looking thing.
There's a point of departure and a point of landing
Yeah.
to everything.
It's like, oh, I see how that makes complete sense. Yes, he went from, yes, he was a terrorist and a dictator, but then he was a wanderer lost in space, out of time, and it's just like, okay, we're going to have pity on you because, you're lost. You
Shit
lost.
is real, and
Yeah.
shit sucks sometimes.
Exactly.
And sometimes, if you disappear out into the ethos, you don't come back.
Yeah, and that's I love Wrath of Khan for that basic setup of it's not Khan's fault. He agreed. He went along with the plan, and Kirk fucked up. Kirk didn't bother to check, and something bad happened, and Khan dealt with it as best as he could.
He had a toolbox of abilities and emotions.
Yeah.
A lot of them weren't good.
And you know what? He spent years on that planet without doing anything evil after the cataclysm, and only when driven to complete desperation and having lost the person he loved, did he actually finally be like, fuck this, I'm gonna go get me some revenge.
I don't have the slightest goddamn idea what either of you are talking about, and I'm
What
gonna
the
again blame
fuck?
it on my regular Christmas-related alcoholism.
It's Wrath of Khan!
That's when I watched the Star Trek movie.
It's the second one!
It's the Trek Mistakes movie
How
marathon.
drunk do you get during motion picture?
Apparently passively intoxicated.
Holy shit, I know it's boring, but holy shit, man!
Let's say I was out having a pee break for Rabbit.
Do you remember Search for Spock?
Vaguely.
Voyage Home?
No, the
I
search.
see what you mean.
I'm sorry. The search for Spock is essentially Easter.
Yes, it really is the story
It is
of
Easter with pointy ears.
And out of the
Okay,
egg
I
comes
don't
Spock.
have. We've talked about how your movie and I'm TV. I don't have the greatest appreciation for the Star Trek movies. I don't. There's. I can't really think of one I've been excited to sit through.
I find them just
If
the
we ever
originals, not
try
like
to
TNG.
have a music episode,
Yeah.
if we ever pretend to be
Oh,
those people,
we're going to have many music episodes.
Oh my god!
I already planned out 26 of these motherfuckers.
Do you want to know how I spend every concert I've ever been to?
Yeah.
Counting the amount of songs they've played, trying to figure out an average playlist, like set list in my head, and wondering how much longer I have to be there.
Oh,
Every
God.
time. Nope. Everyone I've actually been to, I have some dream concerts I would go to, and like minor pub shows, of course. But
So what you're
mostly
saying is
no,
you've never
mostly
been to a
that.
mosh pit?
Oh God! You
Because
never
I
been to a
have
mosh pit?
lost a sock,
Sock.
not a shoe. Don't know how that happens.
I hope you gained
Sock.
someone else's shoe.
Excuse me, what kind of bullshit mosh pit are you in? When I went into the pit, there was actual fighting in my day.
Oh,
That's
Oh,
why
yeah.
I wasn't there.
It was fun on a bun listening to thrash
Fun
music
on
and
a
fighting
bun.
each other.
it was a mosh pit in Chicago that was in an old theater that they took out all the seats in,
Oh, that's
Beige,
actually
are you
sexy
from
as
Chicago?
fuck.
and it was like I went to see The Faint,
Ooh,
which were one of the most fucked up bands I've ever heard of,
yeah.
but also really expressive. There's one of the songs named Erection, and it is literally talking about when you get one.
Yeah.
All the places, the word is never said.
Have
But
you
the-
heard
all
the
of the
theme tune
lyrics.
for this show?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
disgusting.
Yeah.
I love it.
So the theme tune for this show is the Ballad of Chasey Lane.
Who is a porn star?
Oh, you need to play
Is,
it.
was. Should we play it right now?
Yeah.
Should we talk over it like the Civil War?
Sure will. Turn it down just slightly. I do worry about the levels a bit with the lyrics, but not in terms of like worrying about what people think about it. I mean like being able to discern voices.
I would assume everyone wants to discern the Bloodhounds. No, they don't. The Bloodhound Gang is really noisy. I love them. They're great. But
Yeah,
they take
but
up, like,
it's electric techno or
It
it's
is.
punk and it's very.
a lot of my ears. I shouldn't make fun of, the band behind the theme song of our show, which I'm sure we're totally using with someone's permission. I presume it's yours, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, technically. Sorry, I didn't want to speak over that. Technically, it's satirical use, so.
Oh, that's true. We're sure making fun of it. It's great.
Another band that has it excited me in the past.
Turned it into a music show.
Dresden Dolls.
I've never really gotten into them, but I don't know why.
The other one was Moving Parts, and I only found them 3 years after they collapsed in on themselves after being existent for a year.
I hate when that happens.
But they were so good. It was the talking about sci-fi. It was the sci-fi Jane.
Jalen?
No,
Jane's Guide, Jane,
Firefly?
Firefly. It was the Firefly of music. It happened like 1 year, and everybody found out 5 years later that it was great.
Oh, okay.
And it's just like there's one EP I found with like 6 songs. So good.
All I could hear during that was you let me eat your ass.
Hey, shit happens.
That's why I click explicit.
Apparently everyone should, because that's what our show's like. Speaking of okay,
Dad, this is JC. JC, this is my mom and dad. Now show them titties.
Explicit. New Star Trek.
Ooh, yes.
Yes.
They say fuck, they get high, there is mild sexual, like, innuendo.
No, rewind. There's a gay character in Star Trek.
Oh no, we talked about
Yeah,
that
was
last
last
episode.
Well,
episode.
I'm new to it. I'm really excited, and thank you for, and I agree with everything that they've said.
We're all very excited, and everyone should also watch Schitt's Creek for David and
Yes.
Patrick.
But also a
These,
big shout out.
well, they need to
As
be
long
said,
as it's been
but
covered, I'm
yeah.
happy. I want to vote.
We've
for
beaten that particular
positivity.
Jack. Yeah.
Big shout out to Ensign Brent. I can't remember the actor's real name right now. Rappaport?
Who? What?
He's not Ensign. Lieutenant.
Dan?
No.
Doctor?
Discovery. His husband.
The Doctor?
No, his husband.
Oh God, who plays him?
Stamets.
Stamets.
I want to say Rappaport?
No.
I don't know why I want to say that. Maybe because it's a great word to say. Rappaport?
Stamets.
I'm also slightly upset in the fact that he's shrouded in the sex scandal.
Yes, but
I don't like-
Oh, that's right, we didn't
at
get
least
into
he's
that.
on the best side of it as
I agree.
Really?
not evil.
Is being the victim the best side?
No,
Like,
it's
you
better
don't
than
want to
being
be
evil,
evil.
son of a
No,
bitch.
admittedly, you don't want to be evil. Like, you don't want to be anything in
Like,
that.
I'm
but-
speaking morally, of course.
I know, but there's more than two roles. Like,
I will
at
say
best
one
you want to
thing
be
I
one
do.
of the lawyers, and preferably the one that's in charge of, like, putting someone, like, it's so down.
What the fuck?
But I also am really excited that his personal journey.
Anthony
has,
Rapp.
Rap. Yeah. Big shout out to
He's
Anthony Rapp.
fantastic.
He favored a joke of mine on Twitter.
Oh, man, that's almost worth being on Twitter for.
I know, it was so good.
But his personal journey coincided with, I think, a political movement.
Yeah.
And I'm glad it wasn't. I'm glad he wasn't pushed into the background and forgotten about, because
Yeah.
not a lot of people actually get noticed when a bad thing happens and are doing well in life when people find out.
Yeah.
And I'm just, as an optimist.
Kevin Spacey
It's
was
just
my
really nice.
favorite actor, and now it's just like
Problems.
you know what? Part of me
Choices?
wants to wrestle over like whether you can enjoy a show after that or not, and then part of me is just you read some stories and they include some details that you're like, man, suspension of disbelief is a thing, but it's also a choice.
Yeah.
Like, I just choices.
I think I stopped really paying attention to Kevin Spacey during K-Pax. I couldn't really get through K-Pax without just being like,
Was it the sunglasses?
I'm done.
No, some movies are
it
both
just-
forgettable and
Oh,
forgivable.
God. Everything about
Yeah, but fuck, explicit content and all kinds of things in the new Star Trek.
and great characters, and more characters that we haven't even really met yet or talked to.
So
the
much
entire
of the bridge crew. You see them all the time, but you don't know their names. That's so rare for Star Trek. Normally, it's like, Lieutenant Kim, you're going to
They're
lead the
being
show.
smart
That
though.
makes no sense.
They're not giving you the
Well, yeah, they're not
backstory in
creating a Harry
season
Kim
one.
and a Tom
of
Harris, which
every-
you don't want.
They're not giving you the backstory of every single character on the bridge crew in the first season.
No,
They're
waiting to
giving
see
you
who's
the
killing
line,
first.
like the mainline story of what's happening,
Yeah.
and then picking and choosing and pulling people in into every single story, which is it's flipping Star Trek on its head,
Also,
which is what it needed.
And taking that time also lets the audience and the writers decide just by watching which one of these bridge characters, which are normally the core people you know about, that we know nothing about, which one of them is just still naturally emerging as curious and interesting despite the fact that they never get a line.
Also, have you, and because they haven't at all focused on them, I don't think many people have noticed the vast majority of the bridge crew are women.
Okay, I noticed
No
that the
one
vast
even really noticed.
kind of, like, not the vast majority, but a massive contingent of the crew is alien, which I was very happy about.
Oh, fantastic.
Because there's been way too much. Okay, where if the Federation's so big, why are there humans
is it always
everywhere?
humans?
Like, I understand because production costs. but
And
still,
I
which
think
is
that's
nice
where
to
a
see
lot
that's
of the
come down.
fascism things come from, because
Yeah.
every captain you follow is a human.
Yeah.
Every second officer or first officer aside from Kira is human.
Central character not having any power on the ship, fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And then gaining power on the ship, of course, yes. But like,
So season
don't follow the captain as the central character every time.
season 1 of the new Star Trek, I think, is the away mission.
Yeah.
Everybody's a red shirt.
Anything can
great.
happen.
Everybody on the crew is a red shirt.
Yeah.
That's great. It's
And
great.
you've picked, like, you see the characters that bubble.
Except for
But
Michael.
they kind of took they must have
If
learned
they
that.
kill Tilly, all
They're
They
no.
could.
No.
They'll
No,
kill.
they could.
But no.
No.
No. Tilly is a late season kill. She is a
Tasha
Jon
Yar?
Snow, but
That's
let
a
it
lot.
happen. No, not Tasha Yar. I'm talking. They clearly took this from Game of
Like
Thrones.
season 5.
Yeah, and they clearly took the red shirt everyone attitude from Game of Thrones. You never know who's gonna die, but you only kill fan favorites later, so it hurts all the more.
I would accept that under one condition.
You kill Hodor 5
I would
seasons in.
accept that under one condition when it comes
Dax?
to Tilly in particular. Nope. You kill Tilly in
Yeah.
season 5, and then to start season 6, mirror Tilly survived the destruction
Oh,
of her ship, and
Killy
you get
comes
Captain
back.
Killy.
Oh, and you
Yes.
get
Yeah.
Killy.
Yes.
I'd be fine with that.
As like a villain.
Yeah.
That'd be that actress would have so much. That actress. Nope. Can't let that
She's
pass.
surprisingly good.
Can't let that.
Like for someone that you think at first is just like, oh, you're gonna be a really annoying
no,
Wesley.
I loved her from minute 1.
Oh, she was so Wesley.
She started out as Barkley.
Oh,
No,
even
I
worse.
know.
Although no, I like
Har-
Barkley in Voyager. Oddly, I do not like Barkley on TNG.
No, because
No.
because he was allowed to express his character differently than on TNG. TNG, there was way too much
Mary
Beige
Wiseman.
and Dusty Rose.
Very wise.
Mary Wiseman. She's a fantastic actress.
Sylvia
What
Tilly,
is her-
and also
what is her,
equally fun, Captain
Like
Tilly.
acting history. Like what does?
Yeah, go to
How did you
IMDb.
get?
Lord knows. Let's find out.
How did she get to where she is?
Who you?
But yeah, she took like a
IMDb,
cliche
we're already on
character.
Memory Alpha. Let's be dorks about this.
Yeah.
Let's find out who she is from a Star Trek perspective. Someone out there's going, that's what you do when you watch. I'm really having like a moment about it, but it doesn't really mean anything profound.
Shut your mouth! Oh God, she's just slightly older than I am.
Shut up.
Ha.
Her first credits were, according to Memory Alpha, 2 appearances in the television series Craft and Burn, 2012. Nope.
Yeah, never heard of that.
Guests in
Sorry.
2016 and 27 on The Characters, Difficult People, and 3 episodes of Baskets.
I don't
1
know
episode
these words.
featuring Bart McCarthy. What's going on?
I don't
Are
know
we in
any
the
of these
mirror
words.
universe? I don't get any of these references. This is like watching
Who's
an early
Bart
Golden Girls
McCarthy?
episode.
No, excuse me. The best part is in Longmire, with an episode featuring Raphael Sparge. Who the fuck is Raphael Sparge?
The fuck is Longmire?
What is happening?
Her theater and credits include Sew and Weep. No. I wanted to have a how and I wanted to have a verb.
Okay.
Nope.
So
Clybourne
vaudeville.
Park? God. The Octoroon? The Skin of Our Teeth and
Therese
Therese Requin. Oh my god. Nope.
I
She
will-
also appeared in the
eclectic-
2014 short
Eclectic.
3 Dales. Oh my god. And is currently filming another short, Health to the King.
So what you're saying?
At least that one I can say.
So I think we're in full
Wow.
agreement that like as
No
a
one
character
knows.
actress,
No Margot Martindale.
she's better. Fuck.
Whoa.
There's 15 things
Whoa.
I haven't heard.
Whoa.
No, Margot Martindale.
You know what this means? We have to end the show.
Oh God, we do.
We
Margot
mentioned
Martindale.
reference
No!
we reference beloved character actress Margot Martindale.
Is
How?
that the end?
Yeah.
That's always
You
the
know,
end.
it's how we always close it.
Except in this case, we can have one more Wallace Shawn.
Oh well, it's
It is
inconceivable.
conceivable!